Boom, and welcome to another video of the Flowing Dutchman. Now, as you can see, I'm at Dean Crossfit in Brooklyn, New York City. And if you're into any type of swinging related things, unconventional training, you must know the guy that teaches here. His name is...
Daring 101.
This is
Brooklyn's
Colin.
finest.
Brooklyn's finest.
Yeah.
They're impressed by how your journey went.
Yes, yes.
Where did it go?
Oh man, it started with Mace, and
Really?
I remember you juggling and being really good at it, like automatically. And I was really focused on developing my own style, my own approach.
Dutchman, yeah, shuffle on the production, like this, yeah, the flowing Dutchman, yeah, the flowing Dutchman.
Daring 101, if you're following it on Instagram, that's...
More so, I would say, for kettlebells now. I started with Mace around the same time, but I think our paths split.
yeah.
And man, you've gotten so well at just teaching and Mace. And it's just watching your journey is incredible for me to and humble for you to be here, man. I love it. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, man.
I'm also just like completely impressed by how your journey went.
Yes, yes.
Where did it go?
Oh man, it started with Mace and led me back to kettlebells, and then trying to. I think I was trying to juggle a Mace and it wasn't working, and then going back to juggling a kettlebell, everything just felt right. So I think juggling kettlebells has almost become like my dance, you know. So it feels right, yeah.
And what a dance! I think.
Thank you, man.
The way you've I remember going into finally being like, okay, now I should start it too. You know, there's this point where something new is like kind of merging online. And you're like, okay, I see that. Okay, I've seen that before. Now I saw it 4 times. Now I gotta try it too.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I remember when I tried it, I watched your videos and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's the vibe. That's something that I really.
I remember you juggling and being really good at it, like automatically. And I was like, oh man, he's got such good balance between the Mace and the kettlebell. And then, man, I saw you take the trip to India, and I remember you fixing the bike, and then that was it. You just drove off. And it was nothing but Mace after that, Mace and clubs. Man, so it's so impressive to watch, man, just from afar, you know. I know we speak all the time online, but just from the outside watching, it's just an impressive journey, man. Yeah, it's taking you all over.
It was about time that we met.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we've been talking about it forever. I was like, I gotta go to the Netherlands to meet this guy. Whenever he's not in India and he touches down, I'm going to meet him. But you're here. I'm glad. I'm humbled, man. I'm just impressed with your journey, yo. I'm glad you're here.
No, I really appreciate it, but you know the moves you've got up to.
Yeah.
I remember starting with a little bit with the juggling and just the vibe, like with the rap music and the moves. It initiated creativity within myself. Like it made that point where I was like, oh wait a second, it's like a Mace, but then just a little bit different.
Right.
We have a few different spectrums, and from there we can kind of work on.
Right.
So I'm really grateful for everything you've done. And
thank you.
Like I feel like every time I see a video of you, I feel like I've completely lost you. I'm like, oh, jeez. If I want to get back into like
the kettlebells,
kettlebells, and really go into it, I realize like I gotta make such a big journey to reach.
Right. For me with the kettlebells, it was almost as far as like juggling realm, you have classical Russian kettlebell juggling, which it felt like it was almost like a waltz, you know. So when you're dancing in the waltz, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it wasn't speaking to me personally, you know. So I was really focused on developing my own style, my own approach, where I wasn't really focused on how many turns the handle would make, but more so how the bell moved around my body, like the feeling, the movement. So yeah, and that's been my journey, you know, really just creating my own style and taking from the foundation of the classical juggling and then kind of putting my own twist on it and putting the bell in different places where it normally wouldn't be. And really just creating more awareness around how I'm moving, So you're not really focused on the movement of the bell, but how it reacts to the way you move. So it becomes like a real extension of yourself.
Body.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do the same thing with the mace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I also, what I find interesting is like the kettlebell juggling it's a relatively older sport.
Right.
It has some tradition.
Right.
It has some ways, just like what you see in India. You know, these ancient.
Yes.
Like they have their ways, but it's all like it's already formed. Like there's a way. Okay, if you want to start doing this, and if you want to enter this, then you
got to learn the foundation.
Yeah, but there's a path. Okay, so if you want to master it, you go through this path.
Exactly.
Or now you're on this path, and then there's a competition, which like it will, you know, it will give you like it will give you success when you complete that path.
Yes.
And now we found a way to kind of express and create without there being a necessary
end result.
Yeah, we're not moving to something which is like, okay, that is the goal. It's more like, okay, where is the limit?
Yes.
Where can we go?
Yes. And that is definitely my approach, where it's not so dogmatic in the way that you teach it. Because what I've noticed especially in juggling, you may be able to move your body in a certain way that I may not be able to, and then the specific movement speaks to you.
Right.
If you look at a lot of jugglers, say just across the globe, across the internet, you can automatically see whose style that is. You could be doing the same exact move, but the movement still feels different. It comes across in a different manner just from the way the person thinks about how they move. Yeah, and I've always liked that about mace. Club, juggling, because it speaks to the individual, the way that they move, their brain pattern, the way that they think how to approach a certain move. There are people doing moves that I would never have thought of because I don't think that way, you know? And the same vice versa, like I'm thinking totally different from somebody else. But it's also great to see it, and it's kind of like once you see it being done, you're able to do it just by watching them and just kind of recreating that movement and doing either the same thing or something similar. And that's what I really love about the free movement of a mace, of a kettlebell in the club. Yeah, it really speaks to the individual.
You speak right to my heart.
That's it. Yeah,
That's it. And you're also you've also created courses now.
I do courses versus it's more like, I won't call it a course.
Teaching videos.
It's like teaching videos, but it's also giving people a format of how to move, how to create a flow, or how to create a juggle. Because what I hear a lot is they can't connect the dots. They're stuck on one certain move, but they don't know how to make the transition between the moves, how to connect everything, to make it flow, to make it work. I've been doing some group classes, but I don't have it like an official course per se. It's kind of like my way of not being so dogmatic also, because it's
once you put it out there,
right, it's like I don't want anybody to feel like this is how you have to do it. No. You know what I mean? But this is my approach. This is what I'm giving to you as a base, and you can take that and learn from that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's really good. So I know business sense, you would say, all right, you got to make a course, you got to make a program, and you got to put it out there. And that's something that I think I personally battle with, because I like the free approach of teaching a base and then say, hey, go and do something special with it. Go and put your own taste and your own spin on it. Yeah. So
I love that, man.
Yeah, that's my internal struggle right now. Yeah.
It's the path of the artist.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like it's every artist, right? Because if you express but then you don't reach people,
right?
You're expressing yourself for yourself.
I think it's exactly. For me, it's like I don't want you to feel like you have to do it exactly my way. You know, I want you to. I'm going to teach you. I'll give you the tools, and then I want you to explore and do it your way. But add a layer to it. Because there are people that I've taught that have gone on for me to look back at them and say, oh wow, I would have never thought of it like that. And that is something that I've always appreciated about the mace and the kettlebell, is that as you learn, you're able to kind of add something to it, and just kind of like a big stew, man, you add more flavor to the pot.
It's beautiful. And
Thank you.
right.
I'm speaking to the choir right now.
It's like just keep on talking, man. You won't get anything back from me.
Okay.
It's like perfect.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
I knew that was what it was going to be, because like the flow for me, it's also like learning how to not get entangled.
Yes.
Continuously learning how to untangle.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah,
that's the path.
For me, when I first started training, it was it was that dogmatic mentality of squatting, deadlift, bench press, bodybuilding. And as I grew into learning more and traveling, it expanded my mind to say, you know what, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to always be like the strongest person in it. There's so many different types of strength, that like, as far as like yoga, I love yoga because there's so much strength in positioning and holding position and flowing movements that I can't do, but I'm looking at the person, they're half my size and they're doing stuff that I can't do. So it's like there's different forms of strength, different forms of movement that I just love to explore. And as I grew into my fitness journey, that was been my mainstay. So it's not really about being the strongest person in the room, but just being able to enjoy your movement and have fun at the end of the day, and also teach and pass that knowledge on. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think it's time that we start doing some swings.
Yes, why not? Let's make it happen. Let's make some movement happen together. Yeah.
This is the guy. This is the guy.
This is the guy.
This is the guy.
Thank It was focused. Yo, that was great, man.
Thank you for your attention. It's greatly appreciated. If you like the content, please consider to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see similar videos, you can see them over here. If you're interested in learning more from me as a coach, I've got online courses on DutchFlowAcademy.com. Keep flowing. Ram Ram.